I have a vivid imagination, and I have definite goals when I set them. I will pursue it until it is done.
Who's the next Richard Sorin that might be out there right now to want to pursue the strenuous life of the strength life? We hope to carve out a little chapter in the timeline of American strength. But we realize a lot of stuff came before us and a lot of stuff's going to come after us. We just can only do as good as we can do while we're here.
The resolve of this company is very high, and the pedigree goes back far enough that you could feel what it's made of. All the strongest men of all time actually lifted these bells, not some like it, these. And they had to weigh a certain amount and not rattle, so it was a very hard thing to build them to get them right. It didn't crank up yesterday a thing to make money. This is a passion. I would do this no matter if it was in my garage or whatever.
I've seen pictures of him lifting as a little boy, and he's still doing it 3 and 4 times a week now. His first platform he built, he literally stole railroad ties, flipped them over this fence, drug them in his backyard, and built his first Olympic lifting platform at like 9 years old. In the museum, we built it on the same design that Dad used in 1959 for his platform as an homage to some of the really innovative thoughts of how he built the platform even as a kid, because they only had a certain amount of wood, he only had big pieces, and then everything else was expensive. So he had removable sacrificial drop zones because there's for the rubber mat. So he had wood that would drop in that he could get scraps of wood from lumber yards, and then when they broke them up by dropping metal weights, because they didn't have bumper plates back then, he could pull them out and they could always switch them through.
He's 65 years old, and ever since he's been 15 years old, he's been able to deadlift 500 pounds or more. You don't do that unless you love it.
There was nothing in my life except my business and my son in my younger years. It was it. I poured as much into those two things as humanly possible. A family business, I started out. I made all the decisions. I did it all. I ran the show, and I added only members of my family. But as you expand more and more, the family morphs into different things.
Once you get involved with the Sorinex brand, they will be your family for life.
Go, go, go!
The family isn't just blood. The family just isn't our inner circle. It's not just the people we know. It's the people that came before us and the people that are coming after us.
It's very much like coming home, and it really grounds me back to the fundamentals of why I began this whole deal in the first place.
Sorin family, what you guys have done for the Iron Game is just freaking remarkable. I'm so proud of you.
Our culture, our brotherhood has not changed. It's grown because we've stayed true to who Sorinex really is. You know, and all that was defined in the early years with Richard.
Started in 1980, started in our carport. He would go and teach PE, and he would coach after that, coach a weightlifting class after that. Then he would go downtown, strap steel to the top of a Land Cruiser, get home in time to have a little bit of light left, cut the steel, stick build it together, didn't have a welding table, literally laying on the floor, welding stuff together. It wasn't necessarily to sell, it was because he believed that the weightlifting equipment that was currently available in the industry wasn't up to standard of what it could be.
The quote from Henry Royce from the 1920s, we seek to find the best that there is, and if it's not out there, we design it. They're what this country is made of.
We certainly didn't have money. We had a guy that my dad taught who actually worked at a local chicken plant and would bring home chickens that they would get like in some way in a bag and hang them on the front door. And so like he had food because Pop's like put all of his money into making sure Sorin equipment was working. About '86, we sold our first big job to University of Kentucky, and it was so stressful on us as a family and a business that Dad literally had to sell his house to fund the job. But he realized that this was the shot. It was supposed to be the most custom weight room in the country at the time. He realizes this is the chance to outshine everyone and show the industry what we could do. By the time we got to the job, literally everyone was so worn out because everyone had run like, 100-hour work weeks. And guys were literally just passing out while we were doing the delivery, and they're just like, I can't go anymore. Fast forward it multiple years, Auburn reached out to us, and they were asking for certain things that they wanted on their racks, and we had a new design that we were coming up with, the base camp rack at that time. And they wanted to have a lat pull low row and a functional cable column, which no one had ever done. And they reached out to all the major companies and said, we need you to do this, and everyone said you can't. So I sat down with the coach, and for the next over a few months, we figured it out. That was kind of my coming of age, that I kind of spearheaded the base camp 4-hole design, which then turned into the rig.
I made sure that he did it all himself, did all the sales, all the prep, all the draw, whatever. But when I walked in that room and I helped with the installation, I looked around and I said, I could not do this. I could not do this. So if I could not do this and you did it, I'm on board with you. You earned it.
When I was growing up, it was Dad's business. When I started here, I was Dad's helper.
When I looked at him, was I going to know he was going to be able to carry the flag and be a man? I didn't want him to be me. I didn't want him to be run the business. I gave him all the chances he could and all the tools so he could grow. I think each year that goes by, he holds this closer and closer. For a good while, he was just part of it, but he didn't feel what I felt. Total in charge as I was at the beginning, to stepping back and trusting my people and my son enough that he's going to be a good steward to this ship. He's going to sail it where it needs to go. And I get actually to sit on the deck for a little while and see where I'm going.
Sorinex has changed in my definition. I felt we built the finest weightlifting equipment available, and now I think it's a potential for a social change within the strength industry. And I see what we're able to do through events like Summer Strong and through the Brotherhood. I don't know where it's going, but it's definitely bigger than steel.
There's parts of this museum that, if not talked about, they will sleep. It will go away. It's just like you're putting your finger in a bowl of milk and you pull it out, and it goes, whoop, 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 whoop. It's gone. It sleeps. I don't want this to sleep. I want it to go on. And through my son, through the business, through my grandkids, it will go on, whether I'm here or not.
We've been in a conference championship twice. To either win it and be a top 25, we got to do things that other teams aren't doing.
These coaches that just regurgitate one-size-fits-all type information, it's absolutely wrong.
Because without that character I've created, that John North character, the weights aren't going to go up.
Coaching allows you to see the best and worst of people and be able to bring out things inside of them that they never thought were possible.
Lead with your shoulders, not your hips.